Can't even see it, man.
If
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bro Talk. We got Mark G, the Jamaican King. Show us that shirt, bro. I know y'all see it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, hey, I want to see if Ice coming to my door.
Nah, they might get met with something. Oh, I can't say that out loud, can I? They're gonna get met with a hello.
Yeah, I must say, move from here, so.
Want to welcome everybody to the show. This is Bro Talk. You are in the right place, where we talk about brotherhood, fatherhood, and manhood, and everything in between. So I'm here with my brothers, Isaac. We got Balel, and again we got Mark G, and we got myself, Kareem, and we are four brothers that are connected by organization, by experience, by blood. And brothers, it's so good to see y'all. It's always good to see brothers in good health, to see brothers in a space that's healthy. Yeah, man, it's good to see y'all. What's going on? What's new?
Yo, what's new, man? Yo, Eagles won a Super Bowl. I'm just,
yo.
We don't have to hear about Kansas City and all that for a while. I'm just glad.
Yeah, you know, hey.
My youngest son is an Eagles fan, so he was happy. Listen, I'm happy. I just, like I said, I just don't. I'm over hearing about the Chiefs.
Bro, I don't have nothing bad to say.
You a Giants fan, of course you know.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing bad to say.
Yeah, man. Kudos.
That's what they get for being a-holes. So that's what they get.
No, they should have went with the DEI hire, man. Instead they went with the preppy dude that went to, where'd he go? Duke.
Yeah, they could have got Jaden Daniels. That's been their DEI hire right there.
Nah, you keep saying they were never really in a position to get Jaden Daniels.
Nah, well they definitely not gonna get Shador now because he.
But they could have signed Saquon the real money.
Yeah, they could have.
Well, I'm just glad Saquon went out and did what he did, man. So I'm glad now the Giants front office, man, they're on notice at this point.
Nah, man, the Giants was hiring off of merit. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Bro, you got a player that wants to be at an organization. He wants to be a cornerstone of the organization. Right? And then y'all crap on the dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk what it is, man. We're not covering it up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL don't franchise tag running backs though.
Yeah, they stopped doing that.
Bro, I got that. But pay the man his money.
No. Bro, I agree 1,000% with you.
Yeah,
I'm just making a statement of fact. Like they don't do it.
Y'all give this kid, y'all give this kid a 1-year deal. Slap franchise tag on him. Like I think twice. They did that twice. Like back to back, they did that to him.
Mm-hmm. Come on, I mean, he's a generational talent. Like, bro, you don't let someone like that go.
You're gonna call him. Listen to the phone call this dude got, man. Disrespectful.
Wow.
Yeah, that phone call.
We're gonna let you go test the market. Yeah, and then if your agent want to direct something out with us, we were glad to work something out. Like y'all was doing that kid a favor.
Yeah, that was the wild part.
He's like, all right, cool. That was it, bro.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yes.
The wildest part about that phone call was this. The wildest part about that phone call was when he got up, when he tried to get off the phone, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna let you test the market." He was like, but do me a favor, like make us a promise that you'll let us, at least match the offer. No. Either I'm valuable to you or I'm not. Don't try to determine or dictate my value to you or what my worth to your organization is based upon what somebody else says my worth to them is. Because if they're saying they see me as worth this and you couldn't come to me and say you saw me worth that, if it took another organization to say they saw me as worth this, you know what I mean?
And it's not even just another organization, yo. It's a direct rival. Like, I mean, same division. Like, this is a team that you battle with at least twice every single year.
He's gonna talk to them for the next 4 years.
and that's the thing, though, man. It's like it's not even a matter of him testing the market or him not or them not seeing his talent. Like, if the teams that you're playing against understand like what type of player you are and like what you would do to them, that they're gonna come and snatch you up from a rival team. That's saying a lot.
Man, listen, Saquon. Hey, I'm rooting for Philly whenever you play against the Giants.
Listen, I'm rooting for Philly too. To be honest,
you know what I'm saying?
The Giants ain't gonna have a team for another 10 years.
I want you to. I'm okay every with time. I want you to punish them. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want you to come out the game. Let's tell your coach you're gonna play all game. You know what I'm saying? All game. You don't even want to come out, even when you hit 400 yards.
He torched them this season. He definitely torched the guys this season.
And he was talking to them too.
Yeah,
I'm talking to them.
Listen, when you see the interview that he did with Michael Strahan, I think it was right before the Super Bowl.
Right before, I saw they interviewed him, but I didn't see what the context was.
And he said, like, Saquon's such a good dude. He said at the end of that interview, this man got up. Saquon gave him a Philadelphia's Eagles flag, and he had Michael Strahan waving the Philadelphia Eagle flag. So that's how good of a dude on top of his talent that this dude is. And you're an organization that let this man go. Stupid. Stupid. You know they voted for 47.
Yeah.
You know they did.
Yeah. And Saquon barked earlier.
You cutting out, Kareem. I don't know if it's just me.
Nah, it's not just you.
No. My sound now.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, we actually can hear you now, bro.
Change my. Oh, give me a. All right,
what?
So how about now?
You back? It's back to fuzzy. Like when you had the camera off, it wasn't fuzzy. See, this is what happened when you do live TV, folks. You know what I mean?
Man.
That's what happened when you hang around James Walters. Get cheap stuff. Man. Kept telling you stop going to where you go get his technical is electronic.
Man, I don't got right now. I'm good.
So we talked about the Super Bowl drama on the field, but what about on the stage though?
I didn't see nothing. You know me.
You didn't watch the halftime show?
No, I didn't watch nothing.
It wasn't Buju, man.
I gave everything. I gave the National Football Association. I gave them I was protesting.
Okay.
Like that. I respect that.
Yeah. But Kendrick went in on the world yesterday though.
You know why I respect it, and this is here's why I respect it so much is, and y'all have heard me say this before. I believe as Black and brown people, we have a responsibility to use our platform, no matter what size it is, to speak to, improve, better the conditions of Black and brown people across the diaspora, right? So as much as it may rub some people the wrong way, like when Beyonce was the halftime performer some years back, she caught a lot of backlash for her performance being very, Black Pantherish and a lot of the symbolism that she used. But the reality is that, and people say, sports should be a political platform, this and this and that. Well, 47 got the 47 was in attendance. So why not? Why can't it be? Is my question. But furthermore, just taking all of what is going to come potentially as backlash and saying, this moment, this stage is too big for me to not be responsible to my community and say and make the statements that we need said on this platform.
Man, bump all that, man. People say they want to be entertained, low, and they.
I would expect somebody from Gates Child to say that.
No, that wasn't my post. I'm just saying.
They
said they want a little Weezy.
Lil Weezy, man. Yeah. I mean,
New Orleans.
Yeah, people like the glitz and the glamour, man. When they think about the halftime show, they want to get on there. They want to see the lights shining. They want to, sing along with their favorite songs. And that's, I think, what the Super Bowl wanted Kendrick, to get up there and do. Right? I think that's what the country, people that are running the country wanted him to get up there and do and be a distraction.
So if he didn't want it to happen, he wouldn't let it happen.
Who's that? Say that again?
Say that? Yeah. Oh, Goodell. Yeah, the commissioner. Well, here's the reality. Again, the commissioner knows that the audience that cuts across demographics, man, that Katy, again, I got nothing against anybody personally. That Katy Perry halftime show, it was like the year after Beyonce, it was trash. You want to give people a show, the artist to get. Is that simple?
I mean, they had that was probably
they had who? Yeah,
Bruno.
man, you gonna have to get on your phone or something because that microphone ain't getting it. You look real studio ready, but you don't sound you sound terrible.
What about now?
No.
All right, man.
So it's a little scratchy, bro.
Let me try.
Yeah, you sound like one of
change my mic.
You sound like one of them old school records where it's like there's a lot of fuzz coming through. Nah. While he doing that, what'd you think of Ike? What'd you think of the beyond just the outcome in the gameplay itself? Were you surprised? Were you shocked?
I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I think everybody assumed that Kansas City was going to come out. Either it was going to go back and forth, or Kansas City was just going to go. Well, Kansas City and the rest were just going to take over the game. But it was the exact opposite. And I think like the latter, right? Kansas City and the rest were going to, win the Super Bowl was the expectation and even maybe the game plan. But the way Philly came out and they just started dominating, like there was no way to kind of rewrite that story. You know what I mean? So it was from that aspect, it was just great to see. That's what I like most about the game, even though it wasn't exciting, after they got ahead by so much. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think Philly just came out and dominated from the beginning and took them out of the game.
I agree. Philly definitely dominated. As a football guy, two of the things that I love to see were that physicality won the game. Like, the game of football is so skilled, but at the end of the day, it is still a game of who can be more physical. And the Philly defensive line, man, they were just.
And it was a game.
Listen, we can't hear you because you're bad microphone. So till you get that fixed, we don't want to hear nothing about Gates Child. Shout out to the Rock for having for being on the coaching staff.
Don't say the
again, we can't hear you, sir. So thank you for working on your technical difficulties. But yeah, I love that the defensive line just. I mean, they they own the game. As here's what's interesting: when you get to a point where you have the mystique level of like a Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, even at 24. I mean, 27 when they hit that when they hit the deep pass when Jalen Hurts had the long touchdown pass. Up to that point, it really seemed like there might be a chance for Kansas City to come back.
Wait, what the Gage Charlotte grad, right? Was the coach?
Man, mute your microphone. Mute your microphone.
Said The Rock. I want to be clear. Gage Charlotte grad, the defensive line, where they didn't have to this is by the linebackers. It was 4-man rush for the day. Just want to put that out there.
And your microphone still sound horrible.
Hey, no, I'm using.
Am I making it up? Anybody? Just
you got some Darth Vader stuff going on. Check the comments, man. Yeah. Brandy can hear it too. You know what I mean?
Yep. See, I told you.
Like we can't even hear you when you first start talking. It's just like lip service, and then
maybe that's best. Yeah. See. Shout out to my sis Brandy Hayes for keeping it real with her husband. Tell him that he got a raggedy. He got a.
Yo, man, that ain't Christ-like. Just want you to know.
Whatever you did, man, keep doing that. Like
I'm using my laptop now.
There you go. Keep it
there. There you go. Keep doing that, man.
It's good now.
What part is not Christ-like? I didn't. You said it's not Christ-like. What part is that?
What Balo doing? Right, shouting her out, talking about some keeping it real on the video.
She's a number 4. She's gonna keep it real.
No, that's all right. We're keeping it real.
That's what we do, baby. Keep
it
real.
Chappelle did say when keeping it real go wrong, though. He did a whole episode about that.
Yo, but here's the crazy part: when keeping it real goes wrong, you're the one that ends up on the short end of that. You know what I mean? Listen, Kareem, I don't. Again, we know.
Hey man, let's talk about the game, man.
Because I don't want Kareem sleeping in the attic tonight.
All right, yeah. You're right. So, all right, man. Now that y'all can hear me now. All right, so we talked about the game for a little bit. So if you're watching right now, we talked about the Super Bowl. If you got some comments about that, put that in the chat for us. If you got comments about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, put that in there. If you're salty that your team lost, put that in the comments as well. Whatever makes you float. If you just want to be entertained, put that in the chat too. So
I have a question for you guys. So do y'all think the commissioner know what Kendrick Lamar program was all about before he performed it?
I would assume he saw it before it went out or knew what was going, had a write-up about it. I would assume that.
Did he understand the subliminal meanings to everything?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Like, I mean, unless he has somebody in his ear, like telling them.
Yeah, I don't.
But I don't think he's seen the whole performance, right?
I don't think these guys have to like an audition for the commissioner before they get on that stage.
But they got to pay for their performance too. So the NFL.
What does that mean? When you sign a writer to get an artist. Did they send your performance thing? You know what I'm saying? Or you watch their videos on?
They say you gotta do this song. You let them know what songs you're gonna do. Yeah, you gonna do this song, or you tell them how long you're gonna perform for.
Yes, say that. Yeah. Do that. Don't do all that.
You realize like this halftime show been going off so long.
Yeah,
it's how long you're gonna perform. All of those things are the artists know that well in advance. Here's the reality.
I don't think they know all that.
If you I'm saying like you as an artist, you know that at a Super Bowl halftime is about 45 minutes of performance. You got 45 minutes to do your thing. So I highly doubt the NFL is in a position to say we're gonna start censoring. We want to see something. We want to see what you plan on performing. They're not in a position to do that because the acts that you would lose out on or you would miss out on because they said you're not gonna censor my work as an artist. it would create a whole. It would be like the backlash from
Bro.
the Colin Kaepernick taking a knee.
That would never happen again. That would never happen, Kareem. So it's not like you know what was coming down the pipeline with that performance. He didn't know nothing. Everything was a hush hush. They go on stage, they practice some. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're going through a routine. It's a step show. You're going through a routine. You got people in there in the rehearsal. You're not going to show everything that you have. You just go through. You got your steps down right. Boom, 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 and you're playing with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's all about, man. Until when the real gym come, they already practice that. They rehearse that way in advance, so they know what to do. That's what I see. I don't think the commissioner know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they know. That's my thing. I don't think they knew about that. So.
Somebody knew.
Yo, if you're in the chat, man, and you know how the halftime show at the Super Bowl go down, let us know.
Because I heard a white girl break.
Maybe you performed before. Maybe you, you know, somebody that worked on the production. Let us know how all that happens. Because
I don't even know where he at now.
Right now.
I don't know where he somewhere around the globe somewhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's get into it because he was talking real ridiculous yesterday, Kareem. So
yeah, I mean, why it gotta be ridiculous? It's an opinion, right?
Yeah, and some opinions are ridiculous. So you're not here to say your ridiculousness.
Yeah, say my ridiculousness. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get it popping. So for people that's just coming in on the show, so today we're talking about poverty, and it's crazy. The title is Poverty in America, Personal Choice or Systemic Struggle. So we had a little mini debate yesterday. We didn't get too off into it because we wanted to have this debate face to face in front of you all. But there's some different schools of thought when it comes to poverty in America. So yeah, I'll give my stance first. So I believe that poverty itself is complicated. I do believe that.
Can
I set it up, dude? You can't even let me set it up. Listen, can I set it up?
Nah, it ain't no.
Can I set it up?
That's not what you said yesterday.
Can I set it up, though?
That's not what you said yesterday,
bro.
Though.
I'm trying to set it up. Like,
nah.
Listen, man, we both been married, right? We don't just go right in. We gotta like work.
Nah. Listen, yo, I don't feel comfortable with that analogy.
Wildin', man.
What you and my sis Brandy Hayes do, that's my business. You know what I mean? But yeah.
All right. So since my love want me to get right into it, like I can't.
No, Kareem, set it up. Yesterday you just made the statement, right? You put it out there, you put it in the atmosphere, which is cool, right? Today is when we were debating it.
All right, so
you can set it up. You can set it up.
I believe that poverty in America, at some point, there's a choice.
Oh, you're a Republican.
Yo, this dude.
Yo, you're a MAGA supporter.
What's crazy about it is he must have went back and read that conversation and was like, you know what, man, I see how. Yeah, it is. I can't.
I did it.
Nah, bro.
This is not how you were sounding yesterday.
But still,
you should have set it up. You shouldn't just came out and said that, bro.
Well, I mean, I had to acknowledge that poverty in general is systemic. I have to acknowledge that it is complex. I have to acknowledge that. Like that's not that to me, that's a fact. The point that I was trying to make is that at some point, and many people have done this in history, people have done this that we know that we make a choice whether or not we want to stay in this position or not. Because we were just talking about Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, right? We don't know all their situations, but we know that these dudes aren't poor. But we also know too that people have started businesses. people have got education. Education is supposed to be the great equalizer, right? If you have a
believe that?
master's degree, doctorate degree, you're supposed to make more than somebody that doesn't have that degree. Right?
Is that what happens? Is that what happens?
That sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. But then it's like, well, why go to school? Then it's why do these things? If we're saying that by doing these things that we could change the lives for our families, like I know, like my dad, like he grew up poor, but when I came around, he was in a good spot. Now, then you didn't really have to get a college degree. Like you can work, make a lot of money, get overtime, and be set. And then that kind of carried on throughout the generations. But I think some of it is systemic and it's hard, but I think some of it is choice. I mean, you got people getting out of poverty all the time, right? Is that false?
All the time. Like, hold on. What? Okay, define poverty. Define poverty.
Okay. So it could be lack of resource to be able to have basic needs. Poverty can easily just be you bring in less than you that goes out. I mean, that's also when you talk about just financially, that can be poverty. It could be poverty as you see, like, being part of the system. So there's different levels of poverty that exist. But I do believe that if somebody wanted to change their situation, they can do that. I believe that. Do y'all not believe people can't change their situation?
Yeah, I mean, only people can change their situation, right? I mean, that's the way out of poverty is, right? You make the active decision to say that I'm not going to live this lifestyle anymore. I'm going to do everything I can to, earn my way out of it, whether it be getting a job and, working my way up through that job, whether it be becoming an entrepreneur, right? And, starting your own business and working your way through that. But it's figuring out a way whether you're going to be a drug dealer, right? And, get enough money to get some properties and start to flip them joints. There's a lot of ways out of poverty. Yeah. And I think this is why I said, like, I don't 100% disagree with you, Kareem, because ultimately a person or a family has to make that decision that we're not going to continue down this road. And that is the way out, right? But it's not as easy as saying, all right, I'm going to get out of poverty. I'm going to be the generation that, gets out of poverty, and understanding all these other systematic things that I have to fight through that I'm 100% sure that I'm going to make it through. Right. That's the tough part. And I think people have so many different, their capacity to learn, isn't the same across the board for everybody. Those that are grow up in poverty, they may not have the, like you said, the resources that are available in their schools to be able to be successful, to get to a school where they can, get a job that's going to help them get out of poverty. There's a lot of different factors and variables that go into it that make it more difficult. But the reason that I said I agree with you is because an individual has to make that decision that I'm going to change things and get on that path to make those changes happen.
So here's fundamentally one of my, I'll start here with my fundamental issues with the idea or the thought that poverty is a choice, right? That is to say that success is like we're in a meritocracy, you know what I mean? And that's that bootstrap mentality, which is bogus, because it even lends itself to this whole disposition or argument about like kind of DEI being eliminated, right? The idea of someone saying, well, we can get rid of DEI because DEI is it means you weren't qualified, and so that's why. Well, no, that has nothing to do with the fact, like, DEI policies and affirmative action policies when it was, when affirmative action was in place, are not intended or designed or aimed at getting people who aren't qualified an opportunity. It's giving people who otherwise are qualified but won't ever get an opportunity to show their qualifications, an opportunity to show those, to improve themselves. That said, when someone so again, don't I'm gonna ask a question, and the data, do your own research. Do black and brown people with equal education make as much as their counterparts?
No.
Say that again.
That don't prove your point. You're just leading me down a yes or no answer, but the answer is no.
So
Because
that
not making as much as someone doesn't mean that person
doesn't mean you fall on the poverty guidelines. Yeah.
No, but it may not mean that, but it means it points to poverty not being a choice. Like if people with the same qualifications are not going to be put in a position to earn the same, you're not being given the same opportunity to move yourself out of poverty.
But is part of that victim mentality though? Because I understand if you were born into the situation,
victim mentality.
I get that though. But hold on though. If you were born into it, okay, that's one thing. That's understandable. But at a certain age or at a certain point in life, one can make a decision whether or not they want to stay there or not. Now I get it.
Make
it
a
might
decision
not be a
that
choice
I don't want to earn as much as my
might not. Why you got to earn as much as someone else? Why can't you just make your own goals and earn what you want?
Hold on. So when you go and you apply for a job, right?
Well, a job isn't the only way people make money, B. People make money in all different ways. Isaac was just saying that.
Yeah, but I think what B is saying that you and I apply for a job at RIT. I'm the lighter skinned guy.
You are,
but my money will be different from your money.
I know you're being serious. I know you're being.
I mean, between him and Brock, yeah, he is though.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, here's so when.
But the other part of that though, right? And I'm gonna just stick with that argument, right? If you and Brock go apply for a job at RIT, right? You definitely the lighter skinned guy than Brock.
This is
right?
wow. This
you know
is wild.
I mean? So you get the job and Brock doesn't, right? Brock has an EDD and you have a master's degree, but you get the job.
Don't do my ADP like that,
right? So that's the situation. However, Brock does get another job that isn't at the same level as the job that you got, right? This is RIT. This is a reputable institution. Yeah. This reputable institution is not paying you $32,000. Let's say you have a family of four. They're not paying you $32,000 for this position, right? You're still living above, the poverty guideline. So I think it takes more of a conversation around what do you mean by getting out of poverty, right? Are we talking about the financial threshold? Or are we talking about the systems that keep people from moving forward and progressing?
If you recall, I started with my first question to Kareem was define poverty, and so if we're now again if we're looking at it from a the poverty income guidelines, I've also being that we've worked in human services as long as we have, I've always looked at those guidelines and said whoever was a part of the rubric that determined this is the formula that spits out this number.
Yeah,
I challenge them to live on this income, and then tell me that means that you're not in poverty. If you make this much, it means you're not in poverty, because that's outrageous to think that because you make X amount of dollars in a family and have a family of four, that's not poverty. That does by what standard? What you know what I mean? With if someone and I mean I know this applies to a lot of people. You have what's called working poor, right? Where people live comfortable, live nice or whatever, able to do some things. But if we were to lose our jobs, and not be able to kind of find employment of some kind, in the very near future, some stuff would start getting real dicey. You know what I mean?
But is that a systemic issue, or is that a personal issue? Because if that's the case, then shouldn't we be saving up money? Shouldn't we be doing some of these other things?
Have you seen it, like, so you see the inflation in terms of, like, think about what a dozen of eggs were when you were growing up versus what a dozen of eggs is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people made less money back then. I mean, yes, inflation always outpaces what people bring in, but that I'm trying to understand.
But that too, I mean, that speaks to the mindset, right? Like when I think about poverty, that's again why I'm leaning more to leaning a little bit more towards what Kareem is saying. In the argument, like I obviously understand both sides, and I think we all do. We understand both sides of that coin, but ultimately a decision, you have to make that choice, and you have to make that decision that you're going to do something different, that something is going to be different. Inflation is one of those things that go up and down throughout your lifetime. It's gonna things are going to cost more, and so on and so forth. However, I think what people need to think about is, at the end of a pay period, right before you get to another pay period, and you look at your account, like, are you in a place, if you're not living, if you're not fall under that poverty guideline, are you in a place where after you pay all your bills that you still have 25 cents, that you still have $1, that you still have $3 left in your account? And then what do you do with that dollar, whatever that amount is? I'm just using a small figure, right? Whatever that is, what are you doing with those dollars? What are you doing with that money? Are you now going out and saying, you know what, I had a rough week, I'm about to go buy a bottle and I'm about to have a drink? Or are you taking half of that and saying, you know what, I'm going to buy a smaller bottle, and this other money I'm going to put away, right? You know what I mean? That's the mentality, and that's the mindset I think that a lot of us are stuck in. And until we change that, entire, there you go, Mike, go shopping, right? Until you change that mindset on how you're spending those dollars that you have left over, that's what's going to either keep you there in poverty or give you the opportunity to get out. And that's why, again, I'm saying I'm leaning a little bit more towards the way, of what Kareem is saying, is that, it's a personal, in that instance, it's a personal opinion, or a personal decision on whether or not you're going to work to get yourself out of there. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Nothing in life is a guarantee, but are you working towards it? There's
a couple things I want to say. First of all, shout out. I don't know Olivia W, but shout out to Olivia W. She said wages haven't kept up with inflation. So yes, eggs are more expensive, even considering that that people's checks were lower. And I'm back then, like, again, when we were growing up, their purchasing power was greater because, comparatively speaking, the inflation didn't eat into or cut into their wages the way it does ours. My question, or thought in regards to what Isaac was saying is, you're touching on personal kind of choice right now. How many generations would it take at that point to if someone says, okay, I got $1, again, kind of using your example, $1 left after whatever bills are paid and all that, and I'm going to take half of that and then put it away for whatever, right? Trying to build. How long would it take to build generational wealth at that point? You know what I mean? At that pace or at that rate? We are already so many generations behind the wealth gap to try to, like to try to put it on a make it it's a personal choice. That's crazy. That's just crazy to me. It's crazy.
But I don't think the other side of the argument is generational wealth, though, right? The other side of the argument is living in poverty and not living in poverty, right?
Yeah,
we know, like, in order to create generational wealth, you got to have generations. You know what I mean? It's going to take time. That's
my point. Many of our counterparts who aren't living in poverty are a byproduct of the generational wealth that has been built. Even though they may, let's say, again, let's say our counterparts, in addition to applying for that same job as Kareem at RIT and making more, they're also the beneficiaries of generations of wealth that have been passed down. So as a reflection or an extension of, they're able to further or see their dollars go further because they're able to continue to build generational wealth.
You know how they've been able to transfer wealth a lot of times, B? Death
insurance.
benefit, life insurance. Like the first black millionaire owned an insurance company. Well, I'm kind of making your point. Listen, I see both sides. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just leaning on one side. What I'm saying is that, like, you're saying, like, how is it they have generational wealth? Part of that is that when somebody died, they left money behind. Now, unfortunately, we, to your point, have not always done that, but people are doing that now. So, like, your kids, they're going to be the generations that have what they need. They're going to have houses. They're going to have assets. They're going to have, the death benefit when grandma and granddad die, right? They're going to have those things, because of a choice that was made.
And still be generations behind in terms of closing the wealth gap. Because
I'm okay with having less than my counterpart, as long as I have what I wanted to achieve. Like, I don't think I need to compare myself to.
This is not comparison, bro. This is not comparison. Your ancestors built this country for free.
I know that. I understand that. So I don't like to compare my wealth.
So I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Will never be okay with folks having more.
Make my money, and I'm gonna keep rocking. Like, I'm not gonna look at what Joe doing. Like, I'm gonna do my thing. Now, if I feel like I'm being cheated, then I need to say something about that. But that's because of what I feel like I'm worth.
That's the reality.
I feel like I'm worth.
You have been cheated. But
a job isn't the only way to make money, B. A job is not the only way to make money.
I think what y'all are arguing are too far. It's too far away for it to commonality, right?
I don't know what Kareem on.
No.
Don't say you don't know what I'm on. Don't do that.
It doesn't even become it can't even be a debate because you guys are too far away in your thinking about how you're thinking about. You're talking like bRho, you're talking generational, right?
I'm talking macro poverty, because poverty.
That's what I'm saying, right?
We can't.
What I'm saying is we can't have a debate if one person's talking macro and one person's talking micro. There is no debate there. Like, we're talking about apples and oranges. You know what I mean? So, I think we got to bring it closer together to have a conversation. That's why I framed it from the perspective of poverty versus not poverty, right? We can't talk about wealth and poverty, right? That's too far away, and there's too many variables in between.
You're right.
So again,
you can talk. Maybe you might be able to talk about rich and poverty, right? Because those are two separate things. So when you start talking about wealth, like it's just
poverty and working poor, like you were talking about earlier.
So again, if we we would still have to, I would say, give me a baseline definition of what you say poverty is.
I gave mine, but I haven't heard yours yet. I gave mine. So what is your definition of poverty? Because I gave mine earlier.
See, again, I don't have a micro definition of poverty. I've given you my macro position or definition of what
generational.
So I guess the question would be then, like, how do you start to work your way out of poverty, right? If the argument is like we're just too far behind, then it goes back to Kareem's point of, well, then what's the point, of us trying to catch up? If we're already 6 generations behind, we're never going to catch up, right? But do we just accept that and let that be, or do we say this is the steps? These are the steps that we're going to take to start to get ourselves out of this situation, so we can be successful, so we can build generational wealth.
So here's my thing: if one of those steps does not include how we attack or dismantle the system that put us in this place, and completely, if there's not a redistribution of wealth included in that plan, then because because of course, when you give somebody a head start like our counterparts have had in this country, you know what I mean, and saying, hey, yeah, well, y'all 6 generations behind, you never gonna catch up. Absolutely not. If the expectation is to catch up 1 generation at a time by making good decisions, there is no any solution that is serious about really closing the wealth gap has to include a systemic redistribution of wealth of some sort, because we in Black History Month, everybody like to give this and we just had MLK Day, everybody like to give this watered down, or they talk about this watered down version of Martin Luther King, and the reality is that man did not get killed because his I Have a Dream speech. That man got killed because he started talking about redistribution of wealth.
It's the difference between his speech and the sermon, right? Like, because he was talking about the redistribution of wealth in the sermon, right? But what stands out is the last 2 minutes of that speech that he took from the sermon.
So you know what I mean? That's my point. Is we gotta talk redistribution of wealth. Of course, we have to teach people how to make better decisions or sound decisions with finances. We have to be educated about credit and real estate and insurance and trust. We have to understand all of those are part of the plan. Investment, all of those points are important for us to understand.
Yes, B. All right, B. I see you on Kareem. Y'all ranting, going on and on and on. Right?
Don't rant. This facts.
I mean, okay. I just feel like this country, man. This country. I understand what Kareem is saying. Do I believe what Kareem is saying? Yes. But his stuff have holes. And he knows his stuff has holes as well. He knows that. I'm coming from a straight different culture to America. The big city, the big lights, the big place that things move, right? And then sometimes I'll be like, yo, why I'm like the way I am is because of how I was raised, right? We look at, there's a lot of Americans, let's put it that way. Y'all 3 brothers was grew up in this country. There's certain jobs out there, guys, you guys are not going to do. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you may hit rock bottom, you may not want to do those jobs, right? Somebody like myself that coming from a humble beginnings will do those jobs, right? 47's kicking a lot of people out to do those jobs. And the jobs that I look at, Caribbean people and African people, they look at Americans as Americans are spoiled and lazy. Let's be for real, right? And it's the concept of that is not certain jobs you guys want to do, right? And I get it, because you may go to school, you may be educated, and you just want to do certain jobs. And not until we get that job, we're going to move. We don't want to do something else and then apply for that job that we want, jobs that we want, and humble ourselves to stay within this little, job. We don't do that. So poverty is always going to be around our people, because we're not humble enough to understand what it takes, right? You said earlier about education. We're still not humble enough. If you put on a workshop right now in Rochester about, just say, what you call it, wealth, family wealth, whatever you want to title it, how much people you think is going to come? Not too many people is going to come.
We had a few of those this summer actually in Rochester, and
how was the?
I mean, they were searching for people, you know, from outside to try to make it in there as well.
Okay,
too.
all right, and I make that a point because I know y'all brothers do that work in the Rock. I know because we did it before, right? And people doesn't show up, but yet still we on this platform talking about this need to change, and then we point fingers. We point fingers at some things that's in place. We need to point a finger on ourselves to figure it out about what we need to do to change the way we think about coming to one of them workshops, you know what I'm saying, to better ourselves, learn ways to better ourselves instead of pointing fingers at the people all the way up here.
The way we think is a byproduct of poverty. The way many people think is a byproduct of the systemic infrastructures that were put in place.
Because I think we want to, bro. I just think some shit. I think this. I beg to differ, though.
The reality is, it is right, but that can't be the continuation. That can't be the last thing that we say about it, right? And that can't be an excuse. I think that we continuously give. We know it's a reason, right? But that can't be fuel that we give somebody that is in that situation to say, I know that you have all these other things going on.
I'm not saying make it the be all and all the excuse, but we cannot disassociate it from whatever approach or plan we're developing as we work together. Like, so
I think what we're saying is, and I think what bRho was leading to is, like, we know that's part of the system as well too, right? To continue to have individuals like that think that way. So they're not going to try to, you know, to get out of that situation, get out of that mindset. Like, we have to figure out how do we get our people, right, as a whole, to start to think differently. That's the key, right? How do we get people to think differently, understanding that there's these underlining aspects of poverty that make us think this way? Like, that's really how we get to the answer to the question.
And I don't think we're letting people off the hook either, B. I mean, because there's that justice part, right? Like, I'm not gonna let you off the hook because I know systemically y'all have done this. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's kind of how I'm taking it. Is that, like, yes, we acknowledge that these things happen, but I'll put it like this. I mean, I would have never crossed if I said, like, yo, this system is jacked up, so I'm just not gonna try. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I had to change my mindset, to change how I was thinking about things. I had to do stuff that was hard and difficult in order to get to the space, to get to the point where I want to be. I think, you know, we're not saying that the system isn't
you
there.
Have to listen, you have to listen. You have to listen too.
I had to listen. I had to
listen and follow.
Dr. Brock calls it coachability index, right? Coachability index. Like, we got to have that. That's
so. I think part of one of the things that we have to realize is so everything exists on the bell curve. Everything exists on the bell curve principle. Everything. We are outliers, and we had it. So our exceptional kind of experience. Our goal is how do we create more exceptions until the exception becomes the rule? Because we're not the rule is if you concentrate poverty in an area, or you create the factors that perpetuate poverty, you know, low graduation rates or underfunded schools, you know, cost of living through the roof. Like, if you concentrate those things in an area, you will perpetuate, you know what I mean, a lot of the things that we see that, again, we all have issue with. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, y'all know where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And the people I've grown up around. All I'm saying is we, you know what I mean? We cannot. It's got to be both. It's a both and. It can't be. Oh, you know, hey, put it off on the individual and expect, like, the individual. Like, as the individual's gotta get their act together, not as if that individual, like, that's victim blaming.
No, B, I don't think nobody's saying that, B. B, you just said, you know where I come from. Bro, I know your whole family, right? Look what your family done for themselves individually.
Y'all own property. Y'all got
Look,
assets.
no. Look, there's another family down the road across the street from you, probably having some struggling and stuff like that, right? And look at you. Look where you came from, right? You surround yourself with people like you. That's a thing that a lot of people have to do. You know what I'm saying? But nobody likes to take talk. Everybody want to talk, and everybody's joining. It's not right. What they come out of their mouth is not. I'm not saying everything come out of my mouth. I know everything come out of my mouth is not. I'm not correct. But one thing I do though, I pay attention, I listen, and then I talk, and I speak from experience. More time I speak is from experience. It's not about what I think. I don't do that because when I do that, I get people in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? But it's from experience. Look where you came from, B. Think about the steps that you make to be who you are today. Why somebody else cannot do that? And right now, you're not rich. You know what I'm saying? You don't have it like that. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're still living and we're still earning a paycheck. We are getting a paycheck, right? And we're supporting our families, right? Unless you have some money we ain't know about. Never, if you do, let me a little something. Throw me a little something, bro. I'm just saying.
But that's the point, right? It's progress. I think we all saw progress in our lives from where we came from to where we are now, right?
No.
And we know that's not the case across the board, right? So the question becomes like, what do we do, or how do we help other people change their mindset to understand and think the way that we thought and do things the way that, we did things. I want to read a comment real quick, a couple comments, actually. I don't know the name on this one, but it said, a couple symbols on there. Like, I'm reading a comment. So if you hear me, type your name in the chat so we can see what it is. But it says, change the culture of our youth. Change the culture that your youth are growing up in. Why are our kids more interested in TikTok than starting a business, gangs and entrepreneurship, music than reading, right? So, I think those are some things that we, can start to kind of take a look at and understand what that, what those draws are there.
Saying that in a vacuum, though, is irresponsible. Like, our culture didn't just end up in that situation. You talking about a community where drugs were intentionally brought into, you know what I mean, and flooded, like the dynamics in the dynamics that have put us in.
And is that still happening?
Absolutely.
So why and how do we change that? I think that's what we're saying. Like, why are we still allowing that to happen as a community, right? How do we stop those things from happening? What are the images that we have to make sure that we put in front of our kids to make sure that doesn't, continue? Because that makes sense, right? The whole TikTok over starting a business. Well, the stuff that they're reading on TikTok is about gangs and drugs and violence and sex and all types of other things that aren't going to get them out of poverty. These are the things that are going to keep them there. Right. So why aren't we putting books in front of our kids? Why aren't we teaching them about business? Why aren't we teaching them about investing? Like, why isn't that what's showing up on TikTok in America like it's showing up on TikTok in China? The people that actually own and run it. Right. So I think that's exactly the point. Like, we talk about the things that have happened and we talk about how they're continuing to happen, but we're not talking about we're not flooding information about how we make the changes.
I have a question.
How we change the perspective.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. You know me. I'm. Technology is not my thing at all. It's y'all thing. How can we use technology like TikTok to reach our youth? I want y'all to sit on that for a minute, right? Because I heard Isaac said we have a few programs last summer that we was looking for people to just show up to it, right? Not only that's a waste of money, it's a waste of time too when you guys put those programs on and people don't show up, right? And I don't believe in giving handouts, right? I have I'm part of my job now. I give scholarship to early childhood education professionals. So I'm working with older people. I get them into college. I watch their college journey. They get stipends every semester. All they have to do when they get into college, they have to get a C or above to get a bonus of $100 every semester. Right? If they register for school, they get 100. We also give them an extra $100 for transportation. That's it. It's a one-time thing every semester. There's 3 semesters in a year: fall, spring, summer. Right? So that's $900 they could get through that year extra. And we're paying for books. We're paying fully tuition. Right? This is in DC. And you're it's a part-time program, but you're working full-time in the daycare. Because a lot of daycare professional is not educated, right? So now, and they want to get paid like teachers. So the DC government's saying, listen, y'all want to get paid like teachers? Y'all got to get your associate degree, right? So that's what we're doing. So I sent a letter to one of my peoples that she have not reached out to me. I reached out to her email, nothing. I haven't reached out. So I sent a letter saying that, your scholarship is withdrawn. You're no longer a part of this program, blah, 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 blah. I sent her like 8 of them letters. I couldn't wait to send them letters out. Right? Persons hit me back said, oh, I was registered since January. I thought the university would let you guys know. This is someone that's an adult, right? You apply for the scholarship through my office. You got the scholarship. So if you register for class, and we told you, you have to let us know. You got to send us your schedule, right? So we know that you're registered. So we can request your invoice. You understand what I'm saying? So I said to her, okay, please give me a call at your earliest convenience. This is Thursday, right? You think she called me? Do you think that I'm gonna call her?
Nah, you're not the one wanting the scholarship.
Okay. Then I'm on. If there was 18, 20, 21, hey, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna call them because they're supposed to be stupid. You understand what I'm saying? They're supposed to be stupid, in my opinion. But you 40, 36, 30, not doing it. I'm not doing that. It's a lot of handout. A lot of people like this handout thing, and we supposed to be not doing that. I can't baby you. If you're doing the work, I got you. Because I have 60 people on my caseload right now that's enrolled in colleges and universities, right? 60. I'm at 62 right now. Out of 62 of them, I'm going to have a great relationship with probably 52 of them. You know what I'm saying? That called me now, whatever. But at the end of the day, I can't baby you, man. I'm not going to baby you. I'm going to give you all the tools and the resources for you to be great. But if you don't want to be great, that's on you. And I'm telling you. And I say that to say that a lot of our people still have to make an effort. Right? Some of us don't want to make an effort. Some of us wants to. I look at Delonte West, first person that came to mind when we was talking earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all know Delonte West,
LeBron's father.
This dude.
I wasn't gonna go there, right? Delonte West was one not basketball player, man. Make millions of dollars. Right? He's sleeping on a pathway, byway, pathway, whatever they call that. This dude is begging now. How? But not only that, Mark Cuban is a good dude. Mark Cuban heard about his situation. Mark Cuban sent for him. Send his people for him, man, to get him cleaned up and all that stuff. Dude left. You got a billionaire, man, an owner that you played for. Want to invest in you. You're not paying for nothing. And when they put you in something, you know it's the top of the line. He left. He's no longer in his treatment to get treatment and all the stuff that he needs, bro, to get better. And knowing Mark Cuban, as soon as he would have got better, there's a job waiting for him somewhere. So he could recover to get his life stuff together. You understand what I'm saying? He gets money from the NBA. He still get money from the NBA. I don't know where that money goes to. Because, they get this pension and all that stuff they do after certain years. Sorry. He's still out there in the streets, man. So where's the ownership that he's taking on his life to want to be better?
I'm not saying there's people got to be accountable, right? You know what I mean? Again, I just go back to it being both and, you know what I mean? Understand, like, I'm understanding enough of how we arrived as a community at a place that my efforts to help us as a community move past that place are shaped or formed or driven by what I know I can't disassociate when it comes to a person and how their path might look differently than mine to make that transition, while also knowing that the folks the entities that have resulted in us getting to this space gotta be also held accountable. Brother man, we can't read the it looks like Arabic writing has some powerful points. History is history. He said he didn't disagree with me. He's just why am I still allowed to happen? It's not about. I think it's bigger than it's a
They just put their name down there.
It's tiered.
Arian.
Okay, Arian. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Arian. Our environments absolutely have to change. Again, I do know that India has high rates of poverty. I would ask if you have kind of and can give us any insight on this in terms of the familial dynamics, what it looks like there, because I know a lot of what perpetuates our communities looking the way they do here in black and brown communities are high rates of incarceration, mass incarceration in our communities. So you have a lot of fathers, who end up absent again for a number of reasons. And again, that perpetuates cycle. There's a lot of factors that, again, I take into accountability, or I take into account when working with someone and trying to help them move past the place of, again, what's in front of them. Because the reality is, it's we're gonna be at this work for a while. We're gonna be at this work for a while, and so I hear what y'all saying in terms of, yes, people have to get to a space and place and understand their decisions impact their life trajectory. But
what about the mind, baby?
Yeah, that's where your choices come from. Like you make, you know what I'm saying, your mental. But again, understanding how that mental was shaped and formed, and you know what I mean, and working with it until people grow, you know what I mean, and getting them to that place.
People ask me, man, old school pledging. Let's go back to that. There's a quick little snap of that. They say, was it hard? You know what I'm saying? And up to this, when I look back, I say, it really wasn't that hard. You know what I'm saying? I look at my line brothers, they look at me like I'm crazy, right? They look at, especially Mike, man. They look at, what's wrong with you? It's hard, you know what I'm saying? But to me, because the way I was shaped in here, was totally different. We're totally different. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't like to see Arthur Jordan. That's it. I didn't want to see Arthur Jordan.
Mike said you crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to see Arthur, man. I didn't want to see DQ. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted, M was cool. You know, M was cool, but it's just, I was wired different. I was wired different, man. And I tell people that all the time.
There were others. So I think, man, I think we could go on for a minute with this conversation. So, hey, I do appreciate it having this convo because it is complex and it's for everyone. It's not going to be a straightforward answer. I do want to say real quick. I'm not doing a shout out, but I got to say this. Olivia W is actually Olivia West. She wrote the
That's
book.
what I thought. Yeah.
Yep, Debt Free by 33. So if you haven't had a chance to check that book out, I do have it. Check that book out. It's about her story about how her and her husband became debt free at the age of 33 and the work that they did. And she also does workshops herself as well, helping people to work themselves into a situation where they're able to provide for their families and do the things that they want to do. So I definitely wanted to shout that out.
And her sons, I think, have a book as well too.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely support her and her family. So Olivia, if you're still on, shout out, put your information in the chat. And we'd love for people to support you and the work that you're doing.
All right, I think it's time to wrap it up. If you didn't get a chance to watch the show, go back, rewind, check it out. Hit us in the comments. We do read them. We do like to respond. We might have to do a part 2 of this because we didn't even get into the nitty gritty of it. We got stuck on one piece.
Yeah, I mean it's a very complex conversation, and I think that's too when we were putting together the flow of the show. There was so much to this topic in this conversation that we really just kind of scratched the surface. So yeah, next week might be good to do a part 2. And I know Blazing Scar, man, we see you. We thank you for subscribing last week and tuning back in. We definitely appreciate you coming back.
No doubt. Hey, who want to kick us off? End of the show, we like to do shout outs. So who want to kick us off?
Is that for me?
Got a point?
I know, Ike, you can back me up with this, Ike. I'm gonna leave that for Ike to do.
We got you, Mike. We got you.
We have some losses, man. That is crazy. Sometimes, we look at life, and one of the things that I know we all got to go one day, but I'm scared. I thought I was never a fear of dying, but man, it's crazy. Because lately, man, we have a lot of people. One of my classmates from Jamaica had passed, but her stuff was, I could see her stuff coming from a mile, because of her of what she had and where she was. Cancer. She beat cancer twice. Third time it came back like a wildfire. Nothing they could have done for her. You know what I'm saying? So she's gone. And I look at that. I know Ike just lost somebody. I'm gonna let him talk about that. But the fact that I'm close with the family as well, you know what I'm saying, and that hurts me a lot. And I stay away from a lot of stuff. I don't like funerals. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of funerals I don't go to. However, the ones that I go to, man, I just go just to support family members and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's been crazy lately, man. It's been crazy for me lately, man. I lost another dude from Brockport, Derek Holloway. I think he just buried the other day, I think. Someone I know, that Shaka boy. Shaka is more close with him. He's a brother of Phi Beta Sigma. So that was a big loss. His mother, only son, only kid for the mom, I think. You know what I'm saying? Mom's still alive. And no mother always want to bury their kid. You know what I'm saying? So I get that concept. And so I just want to take time, man. We pray for those family members, man, that's going through things, losing a loved one and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Pray for the family members, man. Pray for the family members. And for me, that's my shout out, my little time. This for this show.
Sure. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go. What? Shout out my baby brother. His last week was his birthday, man. Happy birthday, bro. It's hard for him because his birthday is the day before my brother's transition date, and so, so just, man, just keep him encouraged, keep him lifted. You know what I mean? To, man, some amazing platforms and folks doing some dope things. Shout out to Community Justice Initiative, Feed the Village. Always, out there in the freezing cold, making sure people have, something, or have an opportunity to grab something if they're hungry. They got the Black Power Marketplace coming up February 22nd. I'll get the information out, and just continue to support where we see, when we see, if you see something CJI on it or Community Justice Initiative, support it. Shout out to Caring and Sharing Junior Academy again, man. One of the, just outstanding child care facility. They provide early childhood education and just doing amazing work in the community. So continue to just support them in the work they're doing. Shout out to Miss Kimberly Robertson for all the amazing work that she does in the community. And I mean, she's just outstanding. I mean, she makes sure the youth and the children that attend her programs, I mean, they have every opportunity to achieve and experience, the things that will help them become their best selves. Also, and then just I shouted out my brother for his birthday, but and I shouted out my mom on her birthday, but shout out, I'll just let her know I don't ever want to experience the loss of a child. So just continue to keep her lifted up, and in that regard. Again, February is always a tough time, difficult time for her in that space. And then shout out to my amazing kids. My son, man, just completed his basketball season. The dude goes from basketball to football to training and all that, and he just runs around and works hard. My youngest is he wants to act, and he's last year his school put on a performance, and he was nervous about. He didn't audition and said he was nervous. So just the fact that he auditioned this year and he made it, and there were kids who didn't even make it. You know what I mean? Like, my kid gets to live out a dream that his dad had as a kid, but it's because it's like, here it is. He has the space to dream and live freely and authentically. So
Black Panther, bro.
Black
Panther.
Yeah, that's my guy. That is my little guy, man. And
take it with you.
Shout out to my amazing wife. I went from work to my youngest son's school for a meeting, and then had a board meeting after that, and then got on Bro Talk. So she's got to make sure dinner happens and all that happens, and to do all this. So shout out to my amazing wife. What's up, nephew? So shout out to my amazing wife.
Good night,
Smith. And
messy, bro.
We appreciate you, babe. And before we go, man, brother Arian, man, thank you for the comments, man. You added such value and such good stuff. Blazing Scar, thank you for the comments. Again, just adding good meat and good content to the to this discussion on tonight, man. Stanislaus, you already know we appreciate you, bro. You know, definitely in there with the Nuggets, man. We appreciate it. Olivia W, thank you. Fancy, thank you for saying I wasn't ranting. I appreciate it. Who else we got? That's everyone I can see. Yeah, you know, thank you for the love. We appreciate it.
First and foremost, I want to shout out to my wife. We're going to be celebrating 13 years married this weekend. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. Yes, sir. Oh, and don't I forget your country suite. Bring your country suite on the plane. And make sure you get that. But I want to shout her out. 13 years. It has been a beautiful blossoming flower of an experience. So
y'all gonna make another baby?
Nah, man, that baby shop closed, fam. But we can practice.
Nah, man, y'all need one. Y'all need one more.
Nah, we good on that, fam. We good on that. Listen, all between the college students and the high school students and the middle school, and I got more than enough kids, man, to go around. Want to shout out my daughter. She had her last modified game today. They did come off with the W in overtime. So I definitely want to shout her out. All the work she's been doing. And bro, her rebounding is crazy.
Hey, man, I know she will.
Good. She's getting good, man. I want to shout out to my son.
She get it from her mom.
He's been doing. All right, that's
her athleticism. She probably get from mom's side.
Maybe. Maybe. So want to shout out to my boy, my junior. I want to shout out, man, to the Neos, Emmanuel and Carlos. They hung out with me at the basketball game last Friday. We watched Brockport beat Nazareth. It was a special game because my daughter's coach was the varsity basketball coach for Brockport for 24 years. So his daughter and Chloe play together on the travel league. So shout out to Coach Dunn.
I can't wait to see Shay so I can tell him Brockport beat Nazareth.
Yeah. It was. I think if they only won by like 3 points, Nazareth was.
Hey, a win is a win.
Oh, a W is a W, bro. All right, look, I know W is a W, man. So definitely want to shout them out, man. Appreciate y'all for hanging with the OG. I also want to shout out, man, always to you brothers. For the support, for the love. This time I always get nostalgic. I was taking laps at this point.
Them laps paid off, bro.
Yeah, them laps paid off, man. Them laps paid off, man, for sure. So definitely want to shout that out. Hey, man, I want to also let y'all know I'm going to be a panelist next week for the Unified Court System. They're doing a screening of Greenwood. Greenwood is still burning. You can actually catch it on YouTube. They're going to do a screening, and I'm one of the panelists for that. So shout out to them for allowing me to be on that panel. Looking forward to talking about that. And everybody that was in the chat, appreciate y'all. And see y'all next week. Appreciate the happy anniversary, Blazing Scar. Thank you. Ike.
Yeah, man, definitely. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat and sharing their thoughts and comments with us. I think that really makes the show that much better. We love to engage, with the audience. Always to those that didn't get in on the chat and comment. We definitely appreciate y'all too, just for tuning in, getting the information. We're still, every time we go out, every time I show up somewhere on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I hear somebody say, "Hey, great show this week, great show." So we know that you're there, right? We know that you're listening. We know you're tuned in. So we definitely appreciate you all too. So just give us a heart in the chat, or make sure you share this with somebody else that you think could benefit from the topics that we're talking about in the show. Definitely want to give a huge shout out to my baby girl Zoe, who is 8 years old now as of the 7th. So a few days ago, we had a party for her.
Happy
when we're
birthday.
when we're down in the city. So definitely just want to shout her out. Want to shout out Eli too. That is like one of the funniest kids I know.
He's you.
I'm super proud of how sarcastic he's becoming,
Yeah,
and
that's you.
how he's just kind of growing into what I always wish that he would be. Nah, but he's such a cool kid, man. Obviously Ava, as well too. She's doing her thing. Just love to see her grow and develop as she is stepping into young womanhood, and she's still doing her thing with gymnastics. I just love how strong-willed she is, and when things get tough, that she always goes and and sees it through until the end. I mean, just recently she was performing in a school play where she was there pretty much every day after school, and then going to gymnastics on those same days afterwards, coming home, doing homework, knocking that out. So just super proud of her. And my oldest baby girl, Tamia, I get on here and talk a lot about her and how sensitive she is, but after this week, I realized just how strong she is, and how she did some things this week just to make sure that her siblings were in a good place, in a good space, that Zoe had a good birthday. So I just want to shout her out and love on her as well too. But I definitely want to just send my love and condolences to my wife's family, and in particular Karen, Kamaya's mom. Kamaya passed away at age 25, and you think about that as being such a young age, but I think in the time that she had on this earth, she did so much for so many people. Everybody that I talked to, and just kind of the stories that I'm hearing about her recently, and how she's given her life to God, and just telling everybody else that this is really where you need to be, what you need to do. You need to get ready. He's coming back. She was ready. I think she was prepared, and she was living a life that I think a lot of us can strive to. And I know she's going to be missed. She was a teacher down in New York, so she had a classroom of students that she was pouring into on a daily basis. But one of the things that I just remember about her is that she was always there. She was the big cousin, right? So she was always the one pulling all of the little cousins together and making sure that they were having a good time, and bringing smiles to their faces. And that's something that I am always going to remember about her. And I think it's important that we really focus on the good memories and not remember people as they pass, but remember them as they live. And I think just doing, thinking back to the times that, I was able to engage with her and interact with her, they were always great experiences. And I know so many other people have had that experience as well. And, it gives us something, still being here to strive towards. So again, I just want to send my condolences to particular mom, my grandmother, her family, my wife, and siblings as they, struggle through this during this time as well, to just, continue to pray for them. But, I just want to definitely give a shout out to her life and the way that she lived. And then I guess the last thing I'll say is hug somebody that you love today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Make sure that, you tell them that you love them. Make sure that you go out and love on somebody with a Black business, right? Continue to support Black businesses as well too, during this month and during this year. So we definitely, again, appreciate everybody for tuning in, and just want to say I love you all you brothers, man, and everybody that's tuning into the show, man. You are loved as well too. So peace.